What is up, my friends? It's good to see you. Welcome back. Brandon Osborne, aka Control for Days. We are here in Dr. Yawgmoth's clinic running another Modern League match with the deck Black-Green Yawgmoth. List I'm running today is not my current list. It was an unintentional submission for this league, but it just so turns out we are 4-0 right now playing for the 5-0. Hoping I can nab the trophy and hoping I can show you how we got there along the way. We are playing, we are on the play, so we are going to opt to play first, and let's see what our opening hand reveals. This list is running 4 Innkeepers and a Patron in the main, whereas my current list is not running that configuration, so a little bit different than what I would normally do. Our opponent reveals a Gigantha, so we're thinking either Affinity or Tron right off the bat. Could also be Death Shadow. So those 3 decks are on our radar. Opening 7 is fine, nothing great, but I think it's a keep. So we'll go with it. And if it is in fact Infinity, having Boseiju is pretty strong. So we're going to lead... I think we're just going to get a basic with this one, and then if we need to with the Verdant Catacombs, we'll fetch a black source. So this turn should be pretty revealing in terms of what our opponent is on. Godless Shrine. Some sort of Death Shadow variant, I'm guessing. Okay, so they do that. I think we're going to if they're playing some form of Death Shadow, Boseiju's likely not super relevant. Playing out Blood Artist is a little bit better of a mana play than playing out the Hierarch. It's close. I think we're going to play out the Hierarch, develop our mana. It gives us more options on our next turn as well, and we can fetch for a dual land and not take damage off of it. A shock land. A bayou, in quotation marks. Yeah, so I'm leaning towards some sort of a Death Shadow variant right now based upon their turn 1. The fact that they don't have Dragon's Rage Channeler, or I'm assuming they don't have Dragon's Rage Channeler, is pretty good for us. Also, this color in general tends to do things with their graveyard, so having the Endurance on hand is going to be nice. We'll see if it's relevant. Okay, so that leads me in the direction once more of them playing some sort of Death Shadow deck. Oh, and there is a Dragon's Rage. Lo and behold. That is unfortunate, because that's going to take our Endurance most likely. They're leaving a card on top. You know, I haven't played against this variant of Death Shadow, so I'm not exactly sure how this matchup is supposed to pan out, but I would imagine a lot of the same rules are going to apply with this variation as opposed to a normal Death Shadow variation. So I think they're debating Chord or Endurance. They go for the Endurance, which I think is probably the right call, which is fine. And they're at 13 life right now. So they're kind of on the cusp of being able to Death Shadow. Alright, that was pretty good. We're going to play out the Boseiju, and we're going to attack with the Hierarch here. They shouldn't be able to block it. I'm assuming they can't. And then we'll have a potential gotcha moment here. They're probably thinking like Chord for Dryad Arbor, is like the line we're gonna take, but we're hoping we get the opportunity to blow them out here with an Endurance, which is really strong against their deck. And I'm hoping they fill up their graveyard pre-combat so that this thing gets Delirium, and then we can do some work. A Ragavan, okay. Let's see what happens here. No attack. A wise decision on their part. So we'll flash in this Endurance now. And we'll shuffle their graveyard back in. Untap. Yawgmoth is pretty strong. So we're developing our game plan nicely here. Yawgmoth is really good to be able to block Death Shadow and Ragavan, so we're pretty happy with that. And then next turn, we're keeping our fingers crossed we get to untap with the Chord, and then we'll be able to Chord for a Yawgmoth, and if for some reason we don't, we'll use the Chord to get probably another Yawgmoth. So we'll see how that goes. I'm guessing they're going to fetch Shock here. Okay. So Blood Artist is a little tricky in this scenario. We'll see how this goes here. I think they're debating whether or not they want to bolt something. Unholy Heat. Okay. They're fixing their draw step, which is reasonable. They put another Dragon's Rage in the graveyard. Assuming we get to untap with this Chord of Calling, our best possible draw is likely a land. If everything is intact come our turn, that's what we're looking for. We'll see if we get that opportunity. And for now, we're just going to take the hit. I think we're fine with that. Not that big a deal. Okay, I was going to say the fact that they have a Steam Vents is important for us to be cognizant of, given the fact that they could potentially have like Drown in the Lock or something like that. But the fact that they tapped it, not as much of a consideration now. They do have Polluted Delta. But even then, they won't be able to drown our Chord of Calling, so... Alright, that's a pretty good draw. So Yawgmoth being a 4-drop, if they do have a Drown in the Lock, they'll be able to drown him. So I wonder if we just Chord. We can just Chord for like a Scavenging. Oh, we don't have Scavenging Ooze. Minor detail. Alright, I think we just jam here. I think we try to see what's going on, see what they have. If they have a Drown in the Lock, we're going to get hurt here. If they don't, we should be okay. I'm getting the impression that they don't, or I don't think they'd be waiting this long. And I feel like in this list, in this matchup, having access to Innkeeper is probably worse than having access to Wall of Roots. So, alright, I'm hoping we don't get drowned here. Alright, we got drowned. That is unfortunate. That might have been wrong for me to do that. Maybe I should have been patient. I knew that was a possibility, but then again, they could have just drowned one of my creatures, EOT. So, kinda, you win some, you lose some, you know? Alright, they're gonna Thoughtseize my Chord of Calling. This Death Shadow is pretty big. They left a card on top of their library. And we're gonna get some blocks in and see how this pans out. We shall see. Alright, another Death Shadow. So Geist is fine. Geist will give us another blocker, which is good. There, take 2 down to 1. Alright, we're close to killing them, but I don't think we can... We can't put them down to 1 here. And I think they topped, which is not good for us. Let's see what they have here. Okay, that's pretty good. As per normal, this is coming down to the wire as it usually does in a Death Shadow matchup. I think they tapped wrong here. I think they probably want to leave a blue up. We'll see if they can access a blue mana with that. I would be... I guess they might have a Hallowed Fountain. But they can't even fetch Shock for that, so that's not a possibility. Okay, it's an aggressive attack. I think we block like this and see what happens from here. Maybe they have another Death Shadow. Okay, Dragon's Rage. So that's not a great draw. Alright, so from here... A little bit of trouble. Alright, I think we just have to pass. Kind of have to hope to get lucky at this point. I don't know if this is actually a list people are running at this point, if people are on this 4-color Death Shadow Abomination. Not clear. This is my first time facing it, so. I think the key turn was when we opted to cast the Yawgmoth as opposed to save the Chord of Calling. Yeah, that might have been a mistake there. Okay, we got 3 attackers. We're gonna block there and block there. And we're gonna take at least 10. We'll see if our opponent has anything else. So we have 2 3-power attackers, so if they don't have anything, should be able to sneak through for the win. I would have been very surprised if our opponent just killed themselves though. We wait. Unholy Heat, okay. Okay, so we have a Chord of Calling. What can I chord for in this situation? I don't know that I have anything that can win me the game from here. I can buy myself another turn. I don't know if that's going to be good enough though. Alright, we'll just pass. We'll see what they do. I don't think there was anything above and beyond what I have that I could have gotten. There's their free sideboard card. And we're dead. Okay. So, critical turn, potentially a critical mistake that we made. So good to be mindful of that and potentially not make that mistake again in the future. From here, sideboarding. I think we want these 4 cards. I'm a maybe on Crime Punishment. I actually think I'm going to shave that. And then they're running counters, and they're running a lot of discards, so I don't love Eldritch Evolution, and then I think we're going to shave an Innkeeper as well. So we'll run this. We'll see how this pans out. So we got to win the next 2 to get the 5-0. Not too thrilled being down a game against this deck. Nor am I happy about having to mulligan against this deck. This is a keep. We're not too thrilled about it, but can't really do too much about it. They mold to 6 as well, which is good, but with as much discard as they have, I don't love our chances right now. The best case scenario is they like cast a turn 1 Ragavan or a turn 1 Dragon's Rage, and it gives us the opportunity to get our Endurance into play. So that's kind of what we're hoping for here, which I don't think is happening. It's not happening. It's wishful thinking. Later endurance. Okay, board is fine. Maybe I should have played out the... No, I don't want to attack here, so we'll just play out the Innkeeper and pass. We're actually pretty close to courting for a Yawgmoth, so if we get 1 or 2 more turns, we'll be able to do that. We could also get a Grist, which would be really good, or an Endurance. So we'll see what happens here. Ragavan is fine. Not too worried about that guy. Kind of weak against our deck, so to be honest, a little surprised that's in our opponent's deck still. Alright, so we'll play that out, and then so I can go Ignoble here. And then I can go Grist. I don't think I want to do that though. I think I just want to pass and hope to get a Yawgmoth out next turn. Could have hit with the Innkeeper for 3, but I don't think that's worth it either. And we're actually going to let Ragavan connect. Not too worried about what they can get off of it. Worst case scenario is like, I don't know, an Innkeeper or something. That's fine. You can have a bird. Bird away. Let's see if they use it. Dragon's Rage, cool. To bird or not to bird, that is the question. Bobble, Bobble's good. So I have 2 cards in hand. Wonder if they're casting a Death Shadow now. There's a Death Shadow, okay. I think we're okay with all of this. And they cast the bird, cool. All right, so we should be able to get a Yawgmoth in play here. And that's actually not bad. So we got 7, 8 mana. And we are going to make use of our mana. Alright, so we're going to start by, I think we get rid of the Dragon's Rage to start with. And then look to knock down this Death Shadow as well. Catacombs isn't great. I mean, I would love like a Young Wolf right now. That would be best case scenario. I think it might be a little ambitious to go for that right now, though. Okay, another Dragon's Rage, 4 card types now. I'm guessing a Drown in the Loch, a Thoughtseize. Okay, I think we're fine with that. We have 1 card in hand. We're going to take a hit. I think we're okay with this. This turn, another Innkeeper isn't bad. Okay. So we're going to be able to gain some life here and do some stuff. So let's start. Let's cast the Innkeeper. And then we're going to fetch for our Dryad Arbor. Love to draw into an undying creature here. So that's an undying creature. It's not exactly the one I want. We're at 14. Oof. So I could get Hapatra and mow down their board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And lose 7 life in the process. I think that's okay. I think we'll do that. I don't remember if we actually played a land yet this turn. I guess we did. Another Innkeeper's pretty good. That's pretty good too, so we don't really need to worry. Okay, yeah, we'll get rid of this now. And we'll swing. Okay, so I think we're in pretty good shape at this point. Hapatra just cleaned things up nicely. And then next turn we have the win, assuming we get another turn here. Expressive Iteration, I don't know that that's going to do it. Yeah, I think you're coming up a little short on that one. So with Hapatra and the Innkeeper, we can just go infinite between the two of them. So you just keep drawing cards here. And they see the writing on the wall. Game 3. All right, for the 5-0 here. And our opening hand wasn't that good that game, so I'm pretty happy with the way that panned out. I think our configuration is fine. We're going to keep it, and we'll see how this goes. I wonder if we go up to 2 evolution. Shave on another Innkeeper, maybe. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. Okay, they mulligan to 6. This hand is really sketchy, but I think we're going to keep it because it has so many undying creatures, and we're hoping we're just drawing into our second land. We'll see if we get there. Okay, so they kept their 6. If I was on the play, I probably wouldn't keep this. Okay, so they led with the Ragavan. I don't know if you heard me say that or not. And we drew into our land. We can preserve our life total. All is looking good. Things are shaping up nicely. It was a risky keep, but I think it was the right call. Which is easy for me to say in hindsight since I drew a land, but I think it was the right call. Alright, Thoughtseize away. Let's see what you take. I'm guessing they take the Geist. And I'm also guessing maybe they don't have another land based on their sequencing here. Yeah, no more land. They knew our top card. We'll see what we're drawing here. Another Geist. Geist is good. We'll fetch Shock. And we'll play out the Geist. So they have perfect information right now. I guess I shouldn't yield through turn just because I have 2 Endurance in my hand. Okay, drew their land. Down to 13. Down to 11. And I'm guessing a Death Shadow is coming down at this point. So if they take the Geist, we really need to pull a land off the top. Which they did not. We got our land. I think we're just going to main phase this Endurance, and we're actually going to target ourselves here, so they can't drown and lock anything. Got a little bit of a stalemate going right now. Got themselves another land. And yeah, I don't think they're really in a position to be able to attack in with the Shadow. We'll just go from here, see what happens. Life, and the fact that they're not shocking there is a good sign for us that they're a little concerned. So for now, like, best possible draw is probably like a Chord of Calling or something like that. That would be pretty good. Get our other Endurance in play. Shuffle their hand back. Alright, we're looking for a Chord of Calling. Or that guy's pretty good too. Another Geist. And a Hierarch. Hopefully our Hierarch lives here. Hopefully we're not getting Thoughtseized. They didn't fetch, which is interesting. Yeah, they potentially have a lot of damage on the field. No attack still. Hierarch lives. Alright, we're in really good shape now. We got 2 Yawgmoths. And we'll see how they feel about this. Feeling like maybe a 5-0 is coming on. Maybe. This guy's pretty good. Back-to-back 5-0s, actually. So we're not doing anything hasty. We're going to operate during their turn. Another Death Shadow, that's fine. Line them up. Alright, we're just going to start drawing some cards here. We are in a position where we can start to take advantage. Okay, we can chord for our Blood Artist, and we should be able to just win from here. Yeah, I don't think they can really do anything from this point. So this should be game. Anytime they try to react from this point forward, we'll be able to respond with an Undying creature activation. So I think I targeted that correctly. They're thinking, doing something, trying to react. I mean, I also just have enough creatures where I can just sacrifice everything and just go crazy. Thought I almost misclicked there. Writing is on the wall. 5-0 is in the bag. Do we win with the messenger? Should we just win? Or maybe a Patron for little style points. So it's 2 5-0s in a row. I want to say like 12 matches in a row. This list wasn't even a list I intended to play. I accidentally submitted it, and it seemed to do pretty well. Can I do my deck? Let's see my deck. Okay, might not even be working. But yeah, oh, there it is. Okay, so it was an interesting list we played against. 4-color Death Shadow. I don't know if that's what's the new flavor of Death Shadow from this point forward, but felt pretty similar to what Death Shadow decks play like. You definitely want to hold your attacks in the early game. You don't want to pump their Death Shadows earlier than you have to. Play around, drown in the lock. Instant speed spells are valuable, and then interact with their graveyard if they have Dragon's Rage. So felt pretty straightforward, nothing too crazy. This list, I think, overperformed. Patron was awesome. Innkeeper was awesome. The two of them in combination with each other were awesome. So maybe their time isn't done. Maybe there's more room for those guys to find their way, to weave their way into the fabric of this deck, the 75. But yeah, it was fun. I appreciate you tuning in today, watching this interesting match. I think it was a pretty good match, so hopefully you enjoyed it. As is always the case, if you're looking for resources associated with this deck, head over to the description below. There's a sideboard guide, a condensed sideboard guide, and a stat sheet. Lets you know all of my matchup percentages and all my deck lists, how I do with them. In the description below, there's also a link to my Patreon if you would like to support me above and beyond subscribing to this channel. Heading over there, that's a great place to do it. I greatly appreciate any contributions, and any money that you provide is going to be going towards new resources for me to be able to produce better content, i.e. a computer. And then also on my Patreon, all the resources are free there, but I have a primer for this deck. The first 2 parts are completely done. 3rd part might be up by the time this video shows up. So head over there and check those out. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Like I said, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment below, let me know what you thought of the match. I've enjoyed doing this with you. This is Brandon Osborne, aka Control for Days. I will see you guys next time. Be well.